Did you know I'm gonna come with it? Come with the 10 minutes. I want you staring into these pretty brown eyes. Hey guys, this is Tiffany Jaye coming to you live. 10 minutes with yours truly. I hope you like the show. Check it out. Hello everybody, it's Tiffany Jaye coming to you again. And I wanted to do something different, and I want to continue doing this as long as I keep getting different revelations. So one of my goals in life is to have very vivid dreams. And if you're a really close friend of mine, you know I've sent you these long text messages or emails, and I was like, yo, check this out. This is what I just dreamed last night. And my goal is to have a script or a screenplay put together, get a director, producer, and basically bring these things to life. So what you are about to hear is a dream that I recently had, well, a few months ago, but yeah, you're about to hear that. So I wrote it all down and I hope you enjoy it. Please comment, tell me what you think, DM me or whatever, and see if you can actually see everything, feel everything that happened in the dream. Okay? So the title is called A Run-In with the Streetcar Gang. October 29th, 2020, 6:25 a.m. I woke up from this dream. I was visiting friends in the hood. I drove my black Honda Civic there. Had a marvelous time with them. Good few hours from early morning into the evening. A summertime vibe since the sun was still out and the sky was just about to finish its dance with the colors. I said my goodbyes as my friends walked me out to their driveway. A full driveway was missing one party in particular, mine. Where was my vehicle? This was insane and nerve-wracking. How am I supposed to get home, work, to and fro? My car is my main asset of freedom that allows me to move as I please, and without it, I'm at the mercy of others. My guy, who resembled a Michael Ealy type, just to give you guys a picture, he's just a friend and was an older brother of my homegirl that I visited. We had all been friends since we were kids, and he would do anything for me as I was just like a little sister to him. So we walked across the street to the old man who usually sits on the porch or is by his window from the inside watching everything. Big brother Mike asked, "Did you see anything?" At first, the old man just kept his mouth shut, and it made Mike frustrated and furious. It was as if he too was in on the heist and his allegiance to the criminals would be broken if he told. He glanced at my face as I pleaded and finally broke and let us know. It was the notorious streetcar gang that goes around terrorizing the hood, jacking cars, and reselling them for parts, races, whatever they can get. We knew of their hideout, and even though I had never been there, with Mike's help, I had two options. I would come out victorious because of his negotiation skills, or not at all. The stakes were extremely high, but whatever I wanted, Mike was down and would support me all the way. The old man held his head down in shame and sorrow as we headed in the direction of the inner city, foreshadowing something in the hood we knew all too well. We walked and walked, took about an hour, the longest hour. My mind was running a blank on everything I had in my vehicle, mainly my trunk, trying to determine maybe if they just let me get my belongings, I'll be satisfied. Why didn't we ride over there with one of the other cars? Well, as to not let it suffer the same fate, so that was definitely out of the question. We arrived at the parking garage. There was no security. Everyone seemed to be on the top floor celebrating. We cautiously walked up the iron-railed steps, round and round until we reached the gang. Music was blasting. Some were lounging, while others were having a mini food fight, some playing cards, smoking. It was a typical night off for them, especially since they had just made this easy steel jackpot victory. So my big bro Mike shouted, "Hey!" to get everyone's attention. All eyes are now on us. Tension in the air builds. And for once in my life, I was truly afraid if we were going to make it out alive. But Mike stood his ground, and so did I. "You guys stole a car today, and we need it back." The leader of the gang looked at us like ants and pointed. "Oh, this one, which was already halfway gutted. We just about sold all the parts, so nah, go on." "I need this car back now. Put everything back together," I screamed, desperate, and now with a tear running down my cheek. All this time, I had at least thought it was still intact and maybe they would have a little grace and just let this one go. But the gang was known for a no prisoners, no returns type policy. The leader of the gang walked up to my big brother's face to face. The room was so quiet, we could hear the hustle and bustle of the city life from outside. Get whatever shit you can carry, but the car is mine. Out of my shop and be glad I don't kill you where you stand. And with that, he walked off, whispered something in his sidekick's ear, and the crew was back to normal with weary eyes. Mike motioned, "Go on, get your stuff." He stood still and surveyed the room as I, with tears in my eyes, grabbed what I could. Some of the girls in the gang were taunting and saying things, picking on how wimpy I looked, taking my junk out, as they would say, warning if I got another car, they would find me and do the same thing. Music, food on the grill, cards, libation, loud. The gang was on chill mode and high alert at the same time. I grabbed as much as I could hold in my hand. Mike then mentioned, "All right, it's time to go," hoping for a smooth, clean exit. I was so ticked off with this entire situation that I shouted to the gang, "Is this what you do with your lives? Stealing from innocent people? Like, damn, how am I supposed to get to work and continue my livelihood?" Bad move. One of the dudes came up from behind me, picked me up with his Superman strength and threw me in the air. Mike was held down to not interfere. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 seconds it seems I floated, and then wham! Smack back first on the concrete floor. Not even less than a second later, another one came, picked me up, threw me in the air. Release, I floated and smacked dead again on the pavement. They proceeded again a third time. And while I was in the air, the leader of the gang said, "Enough," with his hand motioning to stop. All was still and quiet until you heard me thump on the ground and moan in pain. "You all need to get your shit and leave now. I'm allowing that, nothing more." Mike was released to help me get off the ground. I grabbed what belongings I could. Those girls and the other guy members laughed, thinking we were so pathetic. "How about that livelihood now?" I heard in the background. Never in my life had I been so humiliated and stripped of my dignity. The live action of the party continued, and we made our trip back down those iron-railed steps. Why they took the fight to me and not to Mike was beyond me. Things got out of hand, yes, and the leader knew it. It's not like they had any code, but what occurred went against something in his soul, and I knew it. I could see it in his eyes when he stopped the taunting of me being thrown in the air. He looked at his crew in disbelief that the violent had gone to this. No standards, no code, no ethics. He allowed his gang to rule with no boundaries, and it got out of control. Neither here nor there now. What was done was done. Mike and I got to the bottom of the steps, and I had just remembered something very important in the trunk. Without question, I ran back up, ignoring the pain, and was met by one of those girls at the top of the steps. I whispered, "Hey, if you could just let me get one thing real quick out of the trunk, I'll be on my way." She had a mohawk, black leather, jewelry of all kinds, and punk rock makeup. Girl shook her head, chewing gum, blew a bubble, and calmly said, "You got to make an appointment." And we don't even do that. Mike has just caught up with me at the top and grabbed my hand, pulling me back down. We did what we could. The end. So that's the end of my dream. And yeah, like those are the type of dreams that I have. And what happens is after I have them, they're so like, I don't know, they're very powerful or they're very vivid or they just kind of stick. So I have no choice but to wake up. I'm so glad that it happens in a time where it's like, oh, I'm not getting ready to go to work or anything. But I just sit. It may take me 30 minutes to maybe an hour and a half. I remember one time I wrote like a 4-page dream one time. So tell me what you think in the comments. After listening to this, you can DM me. We can even, like after I do several of these, if you want to tell me about some dreams that you've had, or if you want to discuss it, or if you want to, if you feel like there's an underlying meaning, whatever you feel, give me a feedback and let me know what's up. All right. And this is also on my website. You can read along as you're listening with me. Read this. Okay. You guys take care and enjoy. And you'll hear from me next time. All right. Bye. That was another edition of 10 Minutes with Tiffany Jaye. I hope you all enjoyed yourselves because I know I did. You can find more episodes on my website, www.tjayetaylor.com, and go to podcasts. But don't stop there. Hop on over to the music tab and rock out to your favorite Tiffany Jaye records, starting with my latest single, Work For It. Available for streaming and downloads on all major platforms, with a bomb video showcase on YouTube featuring the Queen City, Charlotte, North Carolina.